All right, welcome. Today we're going to go on a little microscopic safari. We're going to meet the tiny, invisible troublemakers that, can make us sick. So get ready, because we're about to meet the 5 major types of pathogens.
There's this world you can't even see, but there's a battle being fought every single second, in the air we breathe, on everything we touch, even inside our own bodies. It is a constant, non-stop clash between our defenses and these little microscopic invaders.
So, let's officially meet the main characters in this fight. We're calling them the microvillains, and you're about to learn the playbook for each of the 5 big groups.
So, what even is a pathogen? Well, to put it simply, they're just tiny troublemakers. It's really important to remember not all microbes are bad. Tons of them are actually super helpful. But pathogens, these are the specific ones that have the potential to cause disease. Okay, first up, we've got the 2 most famous members of this microscopic gang. I mean, we talk about them all the time, but they get confused for each other constantly. So let's set the record straight on bacteria and viruses. Let's kick things off with villain number 1, bacteria. We're calling them the everywhere invaders because these single-celled organisms live, well, pretty much everywhere. In the soil, in water, all over your body right now. Most of them are totally harmless. But a few have a dark side. And when these bacteria do cause trouble, you get illnesses that I'm sure sound familiar, like strep throat or food poisoning. The good news? Because bacteria are living cells, we can fight them with antibiotics. Those are medicines designed specifically to attack their unique structures without hurting our own cells. And now for villain number 2, viruses, the cellular hijackers. And that name is incredibly accurate because viruses are a whole different ballgame. They are way, way smaller than bacteria and aren't really alive on their own. They absolutely need to invade our cells to do anything at all. So how does this hijacking actually work? Well, it's basically a 3-step process. First up is the invasion. The virus gets into one of your cells. Then comes the takeover. It turns your cell into a virus-making factory. And finally, duplication. Hundreds of new viruses burst out to infect even more cells. It's a hostile takeover, right at the cellular level. This whole hijacking process is what causes so many of the illnesses we all know, from the flu and the common cold to chickenpox. And because viruses have basically invaded our cells, those antibiotics we just talked about, they have nothing to attack. That's why we have to rely on antiviral medicines or, most of the time, our own amazing immune system to win the fight. Okay, let's put them head to head just to make the differences crystal clear. Bacteria are living cells that can reproduce all by themselves. Viruses are these tiny particles that need a host to do anything. And this is the most crucial point. Because they're so different, these villains need completely different battle plans to defeat them. But this story doesn't end with just bacteria and viruses. Yeah, they get all the headlines, but there are other, more specialized villains out there. So let's meet the other troublemakers in our microscopic rogues gallery. Our third villain is fungi, and now we're calling them the moisture lovers. And yep, this group includes things like mushrooms and yeasts, but also the molds that can cause infections. Their defining feature? They absolutely love warm, damp places, which is why spots like locker rooms can be their 5-star hotels. And because they love those warm, moist spots, they can cause some pretty common and, let's be honest, annoying infections that usually pop up on the skin, like athlete's foot or ringworm. Luckily, we can usually treat these with antifungal medicines. Next up, let's meet the ultimate freeloaders of the pathogen world, parasites, the nutrient thieves. A parasite is any organism that lives on or inside another living thing, the host, and it survives by stealing nutrients. They are literally stealing from your body just to stay alive. And these thieves are incredibly diverse. I mean, some, like tapeworms, live inside our intestines. Others, like lice, live on the outside. And some of the most dangerous, like the parasite that causes malaria, are actually spread by insects. Our 5th and final microvillain is protozoa, the water dwellers. Now, just like bacteria, these are single-celled organisms, but their calling card is that they're often found lurking in contaminated food or, just like their name says, in water sources. These water dwellers are behind some really serious diseases like giardia and amoebic dysentery, which is exactly why things like sanitation and clean drinking water are so incredibly important for public health. All right, we've met the villains, we know how they operate. Now for the most important part. What's your personal pathogen defense plan? With all these villains lurking around, how do you actually win this fight? I know it can feel a little overwhelming, but the truth is, the most powerful defenses are surprisingly simple.
Here it is, your 5-point defense plan. First, washing your hands is your #1 weapon, period. Next, cover your coughs to keep germs contained. Keep any cuts clean, and please stay home when you're sick. And finally, keeping your vaccines up to date prepares your immune system for battle. It's really all about building strong defensive habits.
So there you have it. You are now officially introduced to the 5 main types of microvillains: the everywhere invading bacteria, the cellular hijacking viruses, the moisture-loving fungi, the nutrient-thieving parasites, and the water-dwelling protozoa. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you know the enemy and you've got the battle plan, the power is in your hands, literally. So what's one simple step you can take starting today to protect yourself and others and become a health hero in your own community?